Jumping in here, we're ready to go. And this week we're going to cover one no trump forcing. And this is the second very important half of the 2/1 system. And it is necessary because we've just changed all of our 2/1 responses to be game forcing, meaning 13 plus points. Well, there aren't a ton of times where your partner's going to have opened the bidding and you're going to have that many points to be able to actually game force. So, what we need is a way to catch all the other bids that are not good enough to actually make a game forcing bid. And let's take a look at an example of a hand here. So, we're sitting south, and the auction starts out with north opening one spade, which is our partner. Our right hand opponent passes. And now this is the hand that we're dealt. So just a quick poll in the chat. We won't roll this through bid box here. Just tell me what you would bid with this hand. You can type in whatever call you would like to make after partner opens a spade and you wake up with this hand. So I'm going to give everybody a second to think about it and type it into the chat if you know what to do with this hand. And remember, as of a couple weeks ago, we have agreed to play that 2/1 responses are all forcing the game, meaning 13 plus total points. Yeah, good. There we go. We have a lot of correct chat answers. And this is a real interesting hand because you would normally just want to bid clubs with this hand because it makes so much sense. You have six of them. And in this situation, you're not able to do that because you do not have 13 or more points. And remember, guys, we're not going to game force unless we have 13 or more total points. So either adding all of our points together with distribution and fits and things like that. Here, it looks really nice, but it's not quite there. And if you have some other way to show this hand, you can use it. But here, most people are using two clubs as the normal game force and three clubs as some conventional bids. So you're right. We need a bid that catches all these types of hands, and that bid is one no trump forcing. So here's the rule. After our partner opens a major suit at the one level, the response of one no trump will show two things generally. First, it shows all of our hands that are 6 to 12 total points. And because this is going to have a lot of interesting shapes in it, we're going to make this bid forcing for one round only. Hence the name, the forcing no trump, or one no trump forcing. And this is necessary because, as we'll see later, occasionally we'll actually have support for our partner's suit when we bid this. But also, we're going to have a lot of hands that we're not going to be able to game force with initially, especially really distributional hands that don't have fits for partner. So we need some sort of way to start the process of being able to describe what we have in our hand. And once again, folks, for those of you that are joining for the first time, if you have any questions, if you sign in, you can chat your question right to me and we'll answer them as we go. Let's take a look at the next slide here. All right, so when we're responding to a major suit opening at the one level, we're usually going to have two choices, right? If we're not raising our partner's suit, we're going to be either making a 2/1 game forcing bid, or we're going to be bidding one no trump forcing. Now remember, the key thing here is the major suit opening, right? We're only going to do this after partner opens a major, because to be honest, that's where almost all of our 2/1 responses are going to happen. Right, 5 out of the 6 2/1 bids that we could possibly make in the bridge bidding are over a major. So over a major, we're going to have these two really good choices usually. If we have enough to game force, it's easy. We're going to bid 2/1, or we're going to support partner in some way that we're able to actually, you know, tell them we have a fit in a certain number of points. Okay, so anytime we don't have that, we're going to go through the one no trump forcing bid, which is our 6 to 12 points, and pretty much any shape possible. And here it is. It's only going to be used by responder after a one level major suit opening. Okay, so it's not going to be used in any situation. If partner overcalls and you bid a no trump, it is not the forcing no trump. It is just natural, 6 to 10ish usually. Only in non-competitive auctions. So if the opponents come into the bidding, and that is 2/1 as well, folks. When they've bid something, Right? We are only going to be able to use 2/1 or one no trump forcing when they haven't bid anything. Right? So if they bid anything at all, we don't play 2/1 as game forcing, and we do not now need to play one no trump forcing. And one no trump is also not technically completely forcing if responder is a passed hand, meaning if I pass and it goes past, my partner bids a spade, pass, and I bid a no trump, this is no longer totally forcing. It's what we would call semi-forcing. It usually says, hey, you probably want to bid something, but if you want to pass, it's not terrible here. And here, this is usually going to be restricted to those times where you have about 6 to 10 points, right? So if you're a passed hand, you don't, you aren't going to have 12, obviously, because you can open all those hands, and you're probably not going to have too many 11s either. So that would just revert right back to standard. And the key thing to remember here is this bid will show almost any shape. The big stumbling block for people that just start to play this convention are they see a hand that has like 6 clubs and a singleton and partner suit and only like 7 points, and they feel they want to do something else, right? 2 clubs or 3 clubs. And here we're just not going to be allowed to do that, right? So all of those weird shaped hands that aren't enough to game force are going to go through one no trump forcing. All right. There are some hands where we are not going to use the forcing no trump, and those are going to be shown here on this slide. And they are almost all just hands that we're raising with, right? Because we have certain bids that are going to show a fit in a certain number of points when partner opens a major. And the ones that are highlighted here are after one spade. The bid of 2 spades is going to be our 6 to 10 points and 3 or more spades. And over one spade, if we jump to 3 spades, we're going to be showing 10 to 12 points and 4 or more spades. And we have a question in here. 2/1 with opener in either first or second seat only. Yes, Jack, that's exactly what I'm saying. If opener is in third seat, we clearly do not have a 2/1 system because the responder can't have 13 points because they've already passed. So yes, that's another way to put when we play 2/1. All right, and same with hearts and spades here. The raise to 2 is never going to change. It's always going to be 6 to 9 or 6 to a bad 10, and 3 card or longer support. And the raise to 3 of the major is, unless you're playing something conventional, is normally an invitational raise. It's a good 10 to 12 with 4 or more cards in partner's suit. There's one more time that we're not going to go through one no trump forcing, and it's with a hand like this. When partner opens a spade, we're really not going to have any choice between one spade and one no trump. So those are usually easier to kind of solve, right? When partner opens a spade, I'm just going to bid a no trump with any hand that I can't game force with or I can't raise partner suit with. But when partner opens a heart, we still have a bid in between. And the reason this slide is up here is because it's very important to recognize that here we would never bid one no trump with this hand because we have a 4 card spade suit. So when partner opens one heart and you have 4 spades, you're just always going to show the 4 card spade suit, especially when you don't have enough to game force, right? So this hand is, not quite enough to make a game forcing bid. So we just bid 1 spade, and then we'll see what happens next. We'll make a bid after this, right? So if partner opens a heart, don't forget, when you bid a forcing no trump, you've denied 4 spades, right? And essentially, anytime you see one of a suit and partner bypasses a major to get to one no trump, they've denied 4 of that major, or both majors if it goes a minor one no trump. Okay. Okay, so here are all the potential one no trump forcing sequences that could possibly exist in bridge. And there they are. That's it. This is the only time we play one no trump forcing. And I've kind of talked about this in a number of ways, but this is a good slide to just show you exactly when this exists. Only twice, right? Partner opens a major suit in first or second seat, and we bid one no trump. We're an unpassed hand. Partner opened a major, so these are both the forcing no trump. And in fact, they're the only forcing no trump sequences that will ever exist. All right, let's take a look at some bad examples on the bottom of the screen here. This auction on the left, 1 diamond pass, 1 no trump, is not 1 no trump forcing, right? Because the north player here, the opening bidder, opened a minor suit. So over a minor suit, 1 no trump is exactly the same as it always was. It just says I have 6 to 10 points, and I do not have a four-card major here because I bypassed hearts and spades to get here, and I'm relatively balanced. Okay. And the next auction here, one heart, one spade by the East player, and then we bid one no trump. This is also not one no trump forcing, and it's because we're in a competitive auction, right? Our right hand opponent has overcalled one spade. So here we're actually showing 6 to 10 points, a stopper in spades, and we're denying a heart fit. Right? We could raise partner in any number of ways here. So that's certainly not going to be one no forcing because we are in that competitive auction there. And I will hold for about 30 seconds here. Just want to give you guys a chance to put any questions you've been holding into the chat. And if not, we will move forward with the next slide. And for those of you just twiddling your thumbs, you can log into BidBox right now because we'll be using that shortly to test your knowledge on mainly one no trump forcing tonight. Maybe have a couple of randoms in there, and we'll start that up in a few minutes. So if you want to log in, just open up a different window, or you can even pop on your phone and type in bidbox.xyz into your browser, and you'll join us for the class. All right, so what's the difference between one spade, two spades versus one spade, one no trump, two whatever, two spades? It's a very good question, and I will have an answer for you very shortly, newcomer. We're going to cover that extensively when we start testing our responses to this. But I will tell you that one of those guarantees a fit, and one of those auctions does not guarantee a fit. All right, so let's take a look at the next one here. So when we respond to the forcing no trump bid, the one thing you should always remember is it is the forcing no trump bid. Right? That they name it that for a reason because you must do something. Right? So in this situation, I have us sitting at the table as south, and we've opened one heart, and our north player bid one no trump. I'm not sure. I see a question in there. I'm new here. You're not going to do anything yet. We're not actually to the portion where we're going to be bidding. All right. We're just taking a look at some of our kind of information before we jump into actually bidding. So if you're logged into BidBox, you're going to see a thank you, class will start in a moment message. And as soon as I start firing questions at you, that's when you'll be able to answer, folks. All right, so the auction that we see on our screen now is a classic forcing no trump bid. We opened a heart. Our partner responded one no trump, which again denies four spades, but is still 6 to 12 points. And really any shape hand that doesn't have four spades essentially. So here this is very simple. When you've opened a major, partner bids the forcing no trump, and you have a four-card suit outside, you just bid it, right? Especially if it's a lower ranking suit, you always bid it. If it's higher ranking, we can talk about that later. But here, you're bidding two diamonds always. You have a four-card diamond suit, and all you're trying to do is describe your hand the best way possible. Here's another very good example. You opened a spade with this hand. Partner bid one no trump, and you would just be rebidding your spades here. At the two level, or maybe if you're feeling a little frisky, you might jump to three with this hand. It's a very strong hand, but it's still kind of between those two bids really, but you're just going to rebid spades. So when you have a four-card suit and only a five-card major, you bid the four-card suit. When you have a six-card major, you just rebid it. Here's the problem though. When we play one no trump forcing, sometimes we're going to be dealt this hand. Right? We have kind of an ugly 12 count. We only have five spades, and we do not have any four-card suits to bid. So my question to the audience here, and this you will type right into the chat, what are we going to bid with this hand? And for those of you that have played this before, you probably know right away what you're doing. But for those of you that might not have seen it or haven't had a chance to take a look at any of the notes on it, this is a tough one because you would love to pass, to be honest. But because we play the forcing no trump, we are not allowed to do that here. So my question to you, for those of you in the chat, is what would you do with this hand? And I like it. Whenever I have two different bids right away, I know it's a pretty good question. So we have some people passing, others bidding two clubs. Any other takers out there? There's usually one bid that I always hear here. We do accept insufficient bids, so one diamond, would be nice. But okay, so most of you are kind of nailing this here. Here's the deal: we have to do something, right? It's the forcing no trump. We agree it's going to be forcing for one round. I'm surprised that no one bid two no trump, but I'm glad you didn't because that is really wrong. Two no trump here would be 18-19 balanced. All right, so you certainly can't do that. It shows a way bigger hand. When we have hands like this, we have to agree that we're allowed to be able to escape in some way. And Gerard, you're signed in. If you're signed into Bidbox, no bids are coming at you yet. Don't worry. I'm just asking in the chat for these initially, and then we'll get to all the problems I have for you right after we're done with this. So don't worry. Hey, sit tight. All right. So in this situation, both of us have to know that this is a possibility. So when we are facing a forcing no trump bid and we have a balanced hand, we're going to bid a three card minor suit. Two spades would show six always, and make that agreement right now. It'll always show six of the suit. So when we bid two of a minor, it's three or more cards in the suit, right? Because there are a lot of times that we're going to be dealt hands like this. In fact, little known fact about just card distributions: when you have a five card suit, the far more likely distribution for the rest of your hand is 3-3-2. All right, so you're going to see this shape a lot. So when you bid a major, partner bids a no trump, you're allowed to bid a three card minor. And here, if you have two choices, always bid the lowest choice. Right? Give partner the chance to do everything they want at the lowest level, which includes pass, right? So you don't want to go past clubs if that was a spot your partner might want to play in. So with this hand, you would bid two clubs. And that's all she wrote with that hand. And here's the rule. Just like I said, when responding to one no forcing, we're always allowed to bid a three card minor suit when we don't have any other good options. Good, there it is. Carmelo, two no trump. That would show 18-19 balanced. And always remember this, guys. This is I'm sure my local students have heard this 10,000 times from me. Whenever the auction starts 1-1 and then we rebid two no, it shows 18-19. So one spade, one no, two no, 18-19. One club, one spade, two no, 18-19. Right? So 1-1, two no is always 18-19. I'm glad somebody finally guessed two no there. It's a usual wrong guess, but it happens very, very frequently. All right, here we go. So there are a couple special circumstances with the forcing no trump, and here's one of them. I have a pretty good hand for partner here. Right? I have 11 points, and I have a fit in partner's major suit. So I don't want you to necessarily type anything into the chat, but I want you to think about it for a second. Think about all the ways that we have to show hearts with a raise, and tell me if we can do it with this hand. Like, can we make a raise that shows this hand with one bid? And you can just type yes or no into the chat. Like, can we actually tell our partner we have a fit and this number of points with standard methods? And by the way, when I say standard, I mean you can't actually tell your partner, hey, I only have three cards for this raise. So no cheating. So the answer is, if we're playing standard methods, we really don't have a good way to show this hand. And here's why. Here's what all of our bids are going to show. Two hearts is going to be 6 to a bad 10 and 3 or more hearts. We're too good for that. Okay, we have a better hand than what that bid would show, so we risk partner passing when we might be able to make game. Three hearts is going to show this range of points, a good 10 to 12, but it's guaranteeing our partner that we have 4 or more hearts. So that's not going to work either. And we could also bid two diamonds here, but that's going to show 13 plus points and 4 plus diamonds. Right? So that's a game forcing bid, so we're out there as well. And that's the problem with this particular hand. In standard methods, when we just play normal 2/1, we are absolutely stuck with this hand as far as making it in one bid. But the cool part about one no trump is that it's forcing. So when your partner opens one of a major and you have this hand, you have the limit raise with only 3 cards, we get to start with the forcing no trump. So we bid a no trump, which is one of the main reasons why we play this as forcing. And then whatever partner bids, we bid three of partner suit. So here we would bid one no trump, and let's say partner bid two clubs. Now we jump to three hearts, and that says, hey partner, guess what? I have a limit raise, and I have only three card support. So it's a nice quick solution, and one of the reasons that one no trump is forcing. And here is the last piece of information you need: the sign off. Sometimes when partner opens a major, we need to find a way to tell them, hey, I know where we're going to play this. And we need to do it in a way that's going to get them to pass. This is a beautiful hand for clubs. We have almost a fully solid suit without the ace, and we have seven of them. So we kind of know what trump is already on this auction, unless partner is going to be rebidding hearts here. All right, so here we start with our one no trump bid, and then partner responds two diamonds. So the question is, what the heck are we going to do with this hand now? And the answer is, this is exactly the way we're going to go about signing off when partner opens a major. And when I say signing off, we're going to try to just play clubs at the lowest level possible. So here's the rule: when we respond one no trump and then bid a new suit at the lowest level, we're always signing off. We're showing a hand very much like the one you're looking at as the south player here. You have a long suit and you know this is going to be trump. And this says, hey partner, you better not bid. I know where we're supposed to play this. I have a very bad hand and a long suit, and this is where I know is our best spot. Now, the only time partner would ever rebid is if they had some sort of weird hand with a lot of extra values. And now they're allowed to bid, and we'll know they have those extra values as a result. But 99% of the time, when we bid three clubs with this hand, which would be the right bid after this, we would just be saying to partner, okay, this is it. We're done. We're just going to be playing three clubs. And that's all she wrote. All right, so this is the end of the presentation. Now we're going to jump into BidBox, and we're going to really get to asking some good questions. So here we go. I'm going to enter my class here, and I'm going to sign in. You can put your email in, guys. When you put your email in, you will get a copy sent to you of the entire class you're about to experience. So it won't have the notes that we started with, but it'll have all the questions you're about to answer in this little quiz. So I'll give you guys a few seconds. Again, if you want to join us, just jump into bidbox.xyz on any of your browsers. Okay. Just type that right in the top address bar, and you will join us for the hands you're about to see. And let's start with this hand. And so on this auction, you are always sitting south in these spots, and your partner has opened one heart. And my question to you is, what's your bid? And you can make your bid right on your device or whatever window you have open. Just press the level and the bid that you want to make with these hands. Give me 1 second while I just resize this up for us. 1 sec. All right, that should look much better for everybody here. Okay, so I'm taking a look at your answers here, and it looks like all of you got the gist of the message pretty well. We have 90% correct on this one. And the answer is one no trump. And the reason we're bidding a no trump is we do not have enough values to do anything else. All right, our partner opened one heart. We have 9 points. We do not have a fit in partner suit. And the bid of two clubs, if we're going to play 2/1 as game forcing, the bid of two clubs just showed partner 13 or more points. All right, so we're certainly not going to want to force the game when our hand is this bad opposite just a normal opening bid. Okay, guys, so let's take a look at the next one. So after you bid a no trump, partner bids two clubs. And now it's back to you. Your bid again. And you'll notice that the first bid is usually going to be pretty straightforward. It's when we get deeper into the auction that it becomes more difficult. Right? So don't worry if you're getting any of these wrong. This is all about making your mistakes here so that when you start playing it, you're that much closer to mastering it. All right, we have a good battle for two answers in particular, but only one is right. Once again, guys, if you are watching this live, which is 8:27 p.m. on August 22nd, you can log right into bidbox.xyz. Just open up a browser, type that right into your address bar, bidbox.xyz, and you can jump in and bid these hands with us. All right, so the correct bid with this hand is pass. And about over a little over 50% of you got this right. Now let's think about this here. When we go through one no trump forcing, and both of us should know this on both sides of the table, we should realize that this is usually a spot where we haven't found a fit yet and we're really looking for one, right? Sometimes we're going to have a fit, but that's very infrequent, right? Most of the time we're going to have a hand that doesn't have a fit and we're looking for a safe landing spot. Here we've actually already found one. On this auction, we should know that partner has at least three clubs, okay? And they have five hearts most likely. So here, if partner has three or more clubs and only five hearts, we have a fit in the club suit. And also, partner shows towards the minimum of their range. They could have a little bit extra, but here, pass is way more likely to be the right bid. Three clubs is a close second, though. I have sympathy for everybody that wanted to raise with this hand because you did find a fit. However, remember, it's not necessarily more than eight. And also, you need partner to probably have those extra values I was just talking about to be able to make a game. So in the long run, especially if we're playing in a normal club game, we're playing match points, passing is usually the best. You should want to compete if the opponent's balance on this hand, right? So if it goes two clubs pass and then they balance with like two diamonds, you can come in and bid three clubs now, and that would be just fine as well. But here we appear to have found a very good landing spot, and we will try to take our tricks at the lowest available level. All right, let's take a look at the next one. This time your partner opened a heart, and it's your bid. And once again, folks, you can bid in the bid box app, and you can also ask any questions you want right in the chat on YouTube. So don't hesitate if you have any questions at all. Pop them into the chat, and we'll cover them. All right, I'm very happy to see that a good percentage, almost 60% of you have it right at the moment. And it's one spade. And the rest of you all bid one no trump, right? Which is good. This is a great place to make this mistake. Whenever a partner opens a heart and we go to one no trump, we deny four spades every single time. So those of you that bid one no trump, a little less than half of you denied four spades. So this is going to be the last time we make that mistake. Okay, so you have a four card or longer spade suit. You always bid that rather than one no trump. And then we'll see what partner does next. Come up with the right bid after that. All right, so this time partner opened a spade, and this is your hand. Make your bid. Okay, and if we remember, that one no trump shows 6 to 12. Pretty much all of our 6 to 12 hands will never get this wrong because we had three of you make game forcing bids. Okay, a couple of you bid two hearts and someone else bid two clubs. And the best part about this app, no one knows who bid what. So if you made a bad bid, don't worry. Other people are about to make just as bad bids in the next few slides. So do not worry. This is why we do this, right? We want to make these mistakes now. So this is not good enough to game force. It's pretty nice, right? It's a very good 11 with some good intermediate cards. But remember, our game force is going to be 13 plus total points. And we're just not there, right? Also, quick thing for 2 over 1. If we're going to make a 2 over 1 bid, let's say I add a king to this hand, right, which gives us 14 points, I would always bid two clubs because two hearts is the one that shows five or more. So whenever it goes a spade, two hearts, it's five or more. So here, one no trump, definitely the best. And now we'll see what partner does in response to that. And they bid two clubs. So now make your call with this hand. So I love these questions because we have about 12 answers in already, 13 now, 14, and only two are correct. So this is a very tough question, and well, don't worry, the correct answer is coming. And this is what I mean by practice, right? The more times we get to see it in a less serious format, right, the better our scores can be. And I will give you my choice here, which would be two no trump. And surprisingly, only four of you, or actually three of you, including me, chose two no. The other two students that I agree with is three clubs, but I'll talk about why I like two no trump better. Let's talk about the incorrect answers, which are awesome, right? Two hearts would actually show a six card or longer heart suit and a bad hand. Remember the rule on that last slide we did in the one no trump forcing lesson. When we bid a no trump and then we bid a new suit. So partner opened, we bid a no trump, partner bid a suit or rebid theirs, and then we bid a new suit. That is a bad hand and six plus, right? It says, hey partner, I want to sign off. I'm done. Right, so that's always a six card suit. It's tempting to bid two hearts, but let's think about it a little further. This is great to do at the bridge table also. When you're sitting at the table, think about, okay, what did partner do? What did they show? What did they deny? And when partner rebids two clubs, I can guarantee you one thing. They do not have four hearts. If partner had five spades and four hearts, even if they had four clubs, they would just be bidding two hearts, right? So on this hand, you don't have to worry about finding a heart fit. You should know you don't have one. Pass is just a little too timid. This is a very good 11. Not only is it 11 high card points, we have lots of tens and reasonable suits. The only thing you're really worried about is the diamond suit, which is why two no trump isn't without its own risk. Three clubs, however, carries equal risk because remember, partner could be bidding two clubs with only a three card suit. So if we remember that, you can just make sure to try to make the bid that's going to get you to the best spot. And two no trump here would just be invitational. If we bid a no trump forcing and then we follow it with two no, or we raise to three of a suit that partners already bid, those are our invitational bids, right? So two no trump would be the best one here for sure. Okay, if your bid box isn't updating, take a look now. I just switched to another problem. And here we see that partners open one heart, and this is our hand. Take a look at whatever device you're using. And yeah, you can use this on any device that has a browser. So as soon as you find a browser, if you're on an iPad that's a Safari, open it up and type in bidbox.xyz in the browser, and you'll be right there with us. Hi, welcome Pam Berry. Good to hear you. All right, so this one looks like it's way too easy. And now I see, how good you guys already are with this. This is for sure one no Trump, right? And the cool thing about this bid is it's this straightforward usually, especially when partner opens a spade, it's even more straightforward, right? We don't have enough to game force, boom. We don't have four spades, we're bidding a no Trump. That's all she wrote. Any bid at the two level is game forcing and natural, and we definitely don't have enough to do that. All right, now partner bid two clubs. Your call. So here, partner opened a heart. We bid a no trump, and they bid two clubs. Your bid. Hey, Cotran, did that fix for you, buddy? Just let me know in the chat. All right. And again, once again, guys, if you want to bid with us, bidbox.xyz in any browser you can get to on any device. You'll be logged right in, making your bids with us. And it looks like over 60% of you are nailing this one. Pass is our best choice. And it's because we're not quite invitational here. Even though some of you bid three clubs, which I think is interesting, it's just not quite good enough. We would much rather have another ace than those two random queens in our hand. Okay, but it's great to pass because we know we got to a safer spot for our partner. Right. Worst case, they have three clubs and we have a fit. Those of you that tried out two no, that's going to be invitational, right? So it's going to show a good 10 to 12, and we might be in game now if partner has 14, and they're not going to be too happy facing a nine count. And the other bids are, the two diamond bid here, that would just be another sign off, right? When we go through one no trump, rebidding a new suit is always just, hey, I have a whole bunch of these and nothing else. Please pass. Right? So don't be afraid when you find a reasonable fit and you know it's a fit, you can pass what partner does if you don't see the possibility of game going forward. All right, this time partner opens a heart and this is your hand. Make your bid. One heart to you. All right. It just started pouring rain out the window here in New York City, so this is a good night for bridge. We see a huge percentage getting this one wrong because this was a little tricky. The correct bid is two no trump. This is a hand that is neither two over one nor one no trump forcing. It's just standard stuff, right? I have a very good 13 total points at least, and I have four card or longer support for my partner's major. So here I would just bid two now. Those of you that bid one spade, you still made a forcing bid and you're still going to eventually try to play hearts, but partner's always going to think you had three then. And they're never going to know you have four high card points. Jay, this is a very good question. Would I not count dummy points? And you would. You would always count dummy points when you have a very good fit. However, on the last hand, I believe the one you were talking about, we had a singleton or too small in partner suit, I believe, or maybe it was a singleton, and also the side cards, the random queens, were not necessarily the best cards to have in that spot. Remember, we're rarely going to be finding a spot in game there, so that's just not going to be a spot you're going to want to bid too much with. Yes, by the way, the question here was, could we splinter with this hand? And if you are familiar with splinter bids, you absolutely could. However, It's probably not the best idea with this hand just because 2 no trump is going to give you more information about partner's hand. And here's why that might make sense. I have a 5 card spade suit. So if partner has a singleton spade, which I'll get to find out if I bid Jacoby 2 no, that's kind of a downgrade for my hand, right? So the reason I would tend to bid Jacoby 2 no trump with this hand rather than Splinter is because I think my partner's bid is going to be more descriptive for me. So now if they show some sort of balanced hand, I'll know they have something in spades, so my spades aren't wasted. And if they show spade shortness, I'm not going to necessarily love this, right? But I'm still going to try to play game. Very good question. All right, let's take a look at the next one. If I can touch this button correctly here, there we go. All right, this time partner opened a spade, and this is your hand. One spade to you. Yeah, Dan, the reason we don't bid a spade with the last hand is because we have a 9 card hard fit already. And that's just preferable. When you find a 9 card major suit fit, you really don't have any need to look anywhere else, right? And if you have an 8 card spade fit on the side, that's never a bad thing, right? So we don't necessarily want to mess around and confuse partner because if we started with one spade there and then subsequently raised hearts, whether we bid a game or not, we would be guaranteeing partner only 3 card support, right? So the reason we don't bid a spade is because if we had a game forcing hand with 4 cards or longer, we would commit to hearts and just bid Jacoby 2 no trump right from that spot. That was a very good question. All right, and this is obviously super easy for all of you. We have like 95% of you getting this right. It's 1 no trump for sure. And it's always this over a spade, it's just cut and dry, right? We have 10 high card points. That's not enough to go through that game forcing door, right? So we just bid a no trump and we see what partner does next. And they bid 2 diamonds next. And the auction you're seeing here is a huge percentage of forcing no trump auctions. Right? We're going to usually have to choose between no fits. Right, we're usually going to try to bail out low in a suit we have at least the best fit in when we know we don't have 8 or more. Really wide distribution of answers on this one. I like it. So you should probably be between 2 bids with this hand, and there are 2 very good bids. I think 2 spades is the best answer here. However, I think 2 no trump is on the edge. In fact, if I were playing in a team match rather than a match point game, I would probably bid 2 no with this hand because it's on the cusp of that invitational range I'm talking about, a good 10 to 12. All right, so 2 no trump is pretty reasonable, and that's in the notes there for you. But in this case, 2 spades is just going to be probably the more normal match point bid because 2 no is just a little bit of a stretch in that format. So here, when we just go back to 2 spades, we're telling partner, hey, this is the suit I prefer. And we definitely prefer spades to diamonds because they've actually shown that they have at most, or sorry, at least 3. They could have more, but we only have 2, right? We know they have 5 spades, so we have a 7 card spade fit, so we show that we prefer that. And that's always what this will mean. You're either going to not have 3 card spade support, you're going to have a hand that's so disgustingly bad that you decided to go through a no trump and just sign off in spades this way. All right, next hand. This time partner opened a heart, and this is yours. Make your bid. Yes, Andy. If you forget to hit the bid button, don't worry. If you if you make sure the next time, if you hit it again, it'll just automatically put it on to the next question. So be careful with that one. And your answer is not final until you hit that bid button. And just like Real Bridge, once you hit it, that bid is made. wait for a couple more answers there. This is one people are thinking about, it looks like. And I'll show you that one spade is the only bid you can make with this hand. And the reason is for both of the other bids we see here. One no trump would just deny four spades, always and forever. And two diamonds, which seems like the most logical bid with this hand, to be honest. We have so many of them, we're just drawn to that suit and we immediately think we have to bid diamonds. But the huge problem is we don't have 13 or more points. So in this case, we cannot actually show that many points by bidding two diamonds, so we just start with one spade. A good question here. What if I had four spades and the highest one was the six? I would still 100% of the time bid one spade. It's not the quality of the actual spade suit that makes any difference here. It's the number you have, right? So if I had 6, 5, 3, 2 of spades in this same hand, I would bid one spade 100% of the time, right? Because who knows that partner doesn't have ace, king, queen, jack of spades sitting over there across from you, right? And also, I have played at the four level in hands where I had nothing but the jack of trump and still did okay. Because if you have a whole bunch of them, you can draw trump just as effectively otherwise. All right, next one. This time we have flipped sides of the table. So now you are the opening bidder and you've opened one spade. And guess what? Your partner responded. Not too shocking. They bid a no trump, the forcing no trump. And now it is your call with this hand. Pam, if you're thinking splinter on the hand from before, the one where you have four hearts and five spades, uh, we talked about that, and that's possible, but Jacoby Tuno Trump was probably the better choice there because it gives you more information on that hand. I think that's the one you're talking about. Okay, 70% of you have nailed this one, and the rest of you made very good mistakes. So, the only bid we're going to make with this hand is two clubs. And this is the reason why. When you're dealt hands like this, you really don't have a good response to the forcing no trump. That's why we're allowed to show three cards, a three-card side suit when we're rebidding after one no trump. And it's exactly for hands like this. And this might look familiar. This was in the classroom portion of tonight. This is a hand where the opening bidder has no good rebid if we're just thinking standard methods. We don't have a second four-card suit. If we rebid two spades, we're always going to show six. And we're playing the forcing no trump, so we cannot pass. And then once again, guys, 2 no here would be 18-19 balanced. 1-1, 2 no, 18-19. So here, guys, we're going to be bidding our three-card suit. And when we have two choices, we could bid clubs or diamonds. We always bid the lower suit. Right? We want to start at the lowest level, so we have multiple levels and multiple bids to kind of find our safe landing spot. Right? So we kind of have to know this from both sides of the table, but here it's a little easier for the opener to figure it out. And if we're going to play the forcing no trump, we're always going to want to make a bid in response to that. All right. So after you bid two clubs, partner bids two spades. And now it is your choice. And good question, Donna. Here it is. We bid the clubs. We're not sure what partner's going to bid. Partner could pass. Partner could go back to our first suit. Partner could bid a new suit of their own or bid some no trump. So we're never going to be totally sure until partner makes that bid. But all we can do is make the bids we're supposed to make when it comes to us. Got quite a few of you answering early here. We'll give you guys a couple more seconds. Anyone else want to get an answer? I don't think anyone's put an incorrect answer in yet. Pass is correct. And remember, that two spade bid doesn't even necessarily show a fit for spades. All that two spade bid said to us was, hey, I have a preference for spades, meaning you told me you had spades and three or more clubs. I choose spades. So we're just going to pass always. If partner had a better hand, or if partner had a fit, we probably would have found out about it before and in different ways. All right, so let's take a look at the next. This time we're back across the table. Our partner opened a heart, and it's your bid with this hand. So partner opened one heart. What do we do? And Donna, for you, on the last hand, the question was, what if partner bids two hearts? What is he or she saying? They're saying they want to play two hearts and you better pass. So when we go through the forcing no trump on either side of the table, and then we bid a new suit, we're saying, hey, I want to play here and that's it. And that's exactly what that would show. And this next question, when I release the answer to this, we're just gonna go right on to the next one because it's a two-parter. So I want to see what we did here first, and then we'll see what we're gonna do next. All right, so the correct response is one no trump to the first question. And some of you raised hearts and others bid two diamonds, but let's see what's going to happen next. If you bid a no trump, partner's now going to bid two hearts. Now it's your choice. All right, I'm going to make the correct bid and then I'm going to tell you why here. So the best bid here is four hearts. And this is going to establish a rule for us going forward. But let's just back up a step and talk about why one no trump was correct. And it's because this is that hand we saw in the lesson as well. We do not have one bid that shows this hand because we have about 12 total points in our hand if we count everything, which means we don't have quite enough to game force because we're really putting everything together to get there. So we go through a no trump with the full intention of bidding three hearts afterwards, right? This is that limit raise with three card support. However, here's the rule for you going forward. If you were planning on showing a three card limit raise and partner rebids their suit, it's usually right just to bid game in that suit. So three hearts here would look normal, by the way. So all of you that bid three hearts, you made what looked like the most normal bid without knowing that now that partner has a sixth heart, when we were already planning on inviting to game, we can just pre-accept on our own side and just bid four hearts, right? So with all but your worst invitational hands, whenever partner rebids a suit and you were planning on doing this, just bid four hearts. And that'll be it going forward. All right, so this time we're back on the other side of the table. You have opened one spade and partner bid one no trump. Your call. Looks like we're torn between two bids like we should be here. The correct bid is 2.47 spades. It's very close to three spades, but it's a very good 14. We don't know we have a fit yet. Obviously, if we knew we had a fit, our hand is worth much more. So just rebid two spades and see what partner does next. Very frequently it's pass, right? But if they make any other move, meaning let's say they invite by bidding two no, or now they bid three spades, we fully intend on cooperating, right? We certainly have a maximum for just a two spade bid. All right, next. And this time, partner bids three spades. I think I might have just killed this question. So I'll tell you what, don't put anything into the box, guys, if you haven't already, and I'll bid it for you. This is four spades for sure. All right, so I'm going to finish the hand. To stop bidding, if you're bidding on this one, guys, just like take a second and I'll finish the hand because it's too easy. And here we go, guys. Four spades. Like I just said, our hand is amazing, right? So now the fact that we have a fit, we clearly have enough for game opposite anything partner's inviting us with. So we just bid four spades. Next case, partner opens a spade and this is our hand. And guys, just jump into bidbox.xyz for those of you that have joined late, and you'll be able to bid along with us. If it's August 22nd and you're in front of your computer, you can bid. Pam, if you're having any issues, sometimes wireless signals might get a little messed up, so just refresh your browser. If you do that, you should be able to fix everything unless you've already bid this end. And that's for the rest of you too. If at any point you're seeing an old slide, something different than what you're seeing on YouTube, just click refresh and it should fix anything you have issues with. All right. Obviously, we're at 100% now in this class. Very good. No other bid we could make. Our shape would be beautiful if we had better points. We would bid two hearts. We don't. All right, so we just bid one no trump. 100% of you. Now, partner bids three spades. Your call. And that should have fixed anything for you, Pam. Just let me know. So once again, our partner opened a spade. We responded to forcing no trump, and they jumped to three spades. And I see why you guys might not have been able to see that entire auction. I apologize. We're neck and neck on two answers here. And now the right answer is pulling away slightly, and the right answer is three no trump. So partner shows a good 16 to 18 when they jump and rebid their suit. And they only guarantee six, right? They're not showing any extra spades. They're just actually showing six or more and 16 to 18 points. Is that enough for a game? And always keep asking yourself that question, right? When your partner opens the bidding, the answer to do we have enough for a game was no. Clear. No, we don't yet, right? We might, but we don't yet. When partner rebids three spades, though, the answer becomes yes for sure, right? Partner has a good 16 to 18. I have nine. I know they have a very long spade suit, probably good quality. And I have everything else stopped, and we certainly have enough for game. And that game is three no trump. Now, don't worry, guys. If partner has like seven or eight spades, they'll bid four spades over three no trump. Right? So it's not necessarily where you're going to end up. But look at the cards you have. Any lead isn't really looking terrible to you at this point, right? Especially if they lead a heart or a diamond, it's probably good for you. And you're the one playing three now with more than enough points to be there. All right, next case. This time we opened a heart and partner bid the forcing no trump. So once again, we're on the opening side of the table. Oh no, the question here is: isn't partner showing a solid spade suit with that bid? Not at all. Never. Right? They just show a very good hand and extra spades. So it's six plus spades with a good 16 to 18. There are spots where when partner jumps to a suit, they're showing a solid suit, but that's not one of those situations ever. All right, so we opened a heart, partner bid a no trump. I like another reasonable distribution of bids here. Some right, some wrong. But 73% of you made the correct bid, which was two diamonds. Right? Two diamonds is always our best choice. When we have a four card suit that's below our major, we're always rebidding it. Right? So when we open a heart, partner bids a no trump, we bid two diamonds. Hey partner, I have at least three diamonds. In this case, I have four. And I have a minimum-ish type hand. Those of you that bid two no trump, remember that is 18-19. 1-1-2 no. It always looks weird here because it's the only time we're going to be showing this 18-19 where we're not going to be jumping. Right? We're just going to be raising one no trump one level, but that has to be 18-19. Right? It shows that big hand. Right? So here we're just going to make the most descriptive bid we have, which is two diamonds. All right. You've seen this hand before, probably, but it's your bid. Your partner has opened a heart, and this is your hand. It's probably been over like 45 minutes since you've seen this hand, though, so if you forgot it, it's not a big deal. Yeah, that happens, Sandy. I can't tell you how many times I've misbid and or everyone else has on this app, but do not worry. The worst is when you're playing in a bridge tournament on bridge base and you misclick and trump an ace or something. Ugh. All right, for sure, one no trump. And it's because we can't game force with this hand. Two clubs would definitely be 13 or more points and game forcing. We have a seven count, right? And one suit. So we have to go through a no trump. And this is what I was talking about earlier about weirdly shaped hands that have to go through one no trump. And when partner opens a major, we're going to have to make this bid with a lot of really weird stuff because we can't game force. And for those of you that might have chose three clubs with this hand, that wouldn't exist unless you had a very specific agreement as to that being weak. And to be honest, this isn't weak enough for that. Right? It would either be invitational or something conventional, and we're just not in that range at all. So this is another huge reason why we play the forcing no trump. We get to hear another bid from partner and get a chance to describe our hand. And that other bid by partner is two diamonds. So they opened a heart. We bid a no trump. They bid two diamonds, and now it is your call. Okay, looks like quite a few of you are on the same page here. Is it the right page? Give it a couple more seconds. Got a few people left that haven't bid yet. One heart, one no trump, two diamonds. What the heck do we do here? All right, the answer is we bid three clubs. This is our sign off. Was that last slide we did in the class. Sometimes you're going to be dealt a hand like this. You are going to have a bad hand and a whole bunch of clubs or diamonds or whatever it might be. And when it's weak like this, we go through the forcing no trump and then we bid our suit by ourselves. Uh, yeah, this is a good question in the chat here. The question is, what if partner rebid two hearts? And that's a tough choice. Passing is very reasonable because you know you have a six card heart suit across from you. You will also know that your clubs are probably worthless in hearts because you have so many of them, and you can see that partner's not going to be able to get to your hand. Right? Once they draw trump and get rid of whatever clubs they have, unless they have a magical holding like ace and one or something, right? And very good hearts, obviously. You're just going to be in a spot where, hey, you're not sure if you're making hearts. So two hearts would be a very interesting choice here by partner. What we would do, I think pass is okay. I think three clubs is still not the worst, but when you have an eight card major suit fit, that's probably where you want to play. Right? But here, yeah, I think it's Jay Gerard. Yeah, anytime you're logged out of BidBox, just jump right back in. You can still jump in at any time throughout the class as long as you're watching it live with me. You're ready to go. All right, so here, three clubs is how we sign off. Boom. I want to play clubs partner. If you bid again, I'm going to give you a really dirty look from across the table. I'm just going to be so upset with you. All right, partner opens a heart, and this is your hand again. Make your call. Got about 8 to 10 of these left, folks. I like to keep these around an hour, maybe a little bit longer, but I never mind. If you guys are still willing to bid, I'm still willing to be here. Yeah, too easy. Note to self, next time I teach this class, stop giving these easy answers to you guys. One no trump for sure is the right bid. We have no other choice. We do not have a four card spade suit, so we just make our call. Go on to the next one. And after we bid a no trump, they bid two clubs. Your bid. This is a tough one. So partner opened a heart, you bid a no trump, and they bid two clubs. What do we do? And this is one of the tougher ones, especially if you haven't seen this before, so I'll give you a little bit of time here, guys. Torn between two answers right now. 50-50 so far. So the correct bid is two hearts. And I'm going to tell you why, don't worry. This is one of the issues. We are unlikely to have a fit, and the suit we're most likely to have a fit in is probably clubs, to be honest. However, we have to recognize that partner is going to rebid two clubs with only three of them pretty frequently. And we know they have five hearts. So, in these cases, we are going to want to choose our best potential seven card fit. So, what we're looking at here is two possible seven card fits. One of them is a 4-3 club fit potentially. Now, remember, partner might have four or more clubs, but we have no guarantees of that right now. But we know we have at least a 5-2 heart fit. If you're choosing between 7 card fits, always choose the one with longer trumps in one hand. And especially in this case, that happens to be the major suit as well, which is higher scoring than the minor suit. So in these cases, when you have a 4 card minor and partners rebid that, and two of partner's original suit, just make it a rule that you always rebid partner's suit. Yeah, I believe Bidbox is a little out of sync with YouTube because Bidbox is faster, and it's pronounced this week maybe a little bit more. So I'm not sure what's happening with the connection to YouTube, but Bidbox is probably, I think, what it looks like 4 or 5 seconds ahead of the actual screens. But I hope that's not too bad. All right, so let's check out the next one. Partner opens a spade this time. Yeah, I'm kind of gauging it now. It looks like about 6 or 7 seconds off. So this time, partner opened a spade, and it went pass. Yeah, I guess I didn't have to wait too long on this one as usual. Everybody is right. And the spade ones are just so much more straightforward, super easy. So you bid a no trump, and now partner rebids two no trump. Your call. So partner opened a spade, you responded a no trump, and they bid two no. All right, looks like we have another good mix here. The correct call is three no trump. And the reason is exactly what I've been talking about frequently this evening. That rebid of 2 no trump by our partner showed 18-19 balanced. Right? It went 1-1 2 no. That's 18-19 balanced. And our hand, I gotta I gotta say, it's pretty ugly. But when partner has 18 or 19 balanced, it's actually enough to bid a game. It's only 7, and it's kind of a scattered 7, but it has reasonable intermediate cards in almost every suit. So here we kick it in, unless partner's looking really tired or just, wants to go home or something, then maybe you pass him. All right, this time partner opened a heart, and it's your bid. Yeah, I think I can lower the bit rate on this for the next one and try to get it more in sync, but I'm at least, it's good news, bad news. I'm very happy the program is running this quickly. Okay, guys, now this one was to test how much you had one no trump forcing on the brain, and 44% of you had too much one no trump forcing on the brain. This is just two hearts, right? We're going to raise to two with this hand. We have 3 card support, and this should be pretty normal. Even if you're playing some sort of constructive raise, it's still a little close, but whenever I have a good raise with 3 card support, I'm just going to make it to alleviate any issues, okay? If you play a solid constructive raise with your partners, you might still bid one no trump, But I like to reserve bidding a no trump and then two hearts for the hands that are worse than this. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the next one. This time, partner opened a spade. And this is your hand. Make your call. So, partner opened one spade. And you definitely have an interesting hand. Yeah, that's too long. All right, good. We only had one taker for two hearts, which is good. As much as you want to bid two hearts, because it makes the most sense for your shape, your hand just isn't good enough. And it wouldn't be good enough even if we weren't playing two over one, right? But here, two hearts would be game forcing 13 or more. We're not quite there. So after we bid a no trump, partner bids two clubs, and now it's our turn again. So they opened a spade. We bid one no trump. They bid two clubs, and now it is our choice. Now that is what a sign off looks like. We bid a no trump as our forcing no trump bid over one spade. Partner bid two clubs, and now we're about to bid a new suit. So we bid the forcing no trump first, and then we bid a new suit, which is always this hand. It is a weak hand with six cards or longer in the suit we just bid. Some of you might have considered passing two clubs. One of you did. But remember, partner may only have three cards in that suit. And even if they have four, I mean, we have Queen Jack 10 sixth of hearts. We get to play in a major suit at the lowest level we can. That's how we sign off. And take a look. If it gets passed out, we now bought this for a very low level contract that has a lot of chances to be successful. All right, next case. Partner opens a spade, and this is us. One spade to you. Donna, the answer to your question that the answer or your question was after we bid a no trump and partner bids two clubs, right? They open a spade and they rebid two clubs. What is their range of points? And that'll always be around 12 to 17 ish, with the vast majority of the time it being right around 12 to 14 ish, right? It's rarely going to be the higher end, even though it could be, because they sometimes have to have room to maneuver with those medium type hands that are shapely. All right. So, this one we had a pretty fair mix of choices made. One no trump is the correct choice. And this is more of a kind of a hand evaluation thing than anything else. This hand is a limit raise if you count all the values. We have 9 high card points. We also have a singleton diamond, and we have excellent cards in the other suits, especially two potential sources of tricks outside of the trump suit. So if we add all these points together, we're too good for two spades. And we also can't bid three spades because that will show 4 card or longer support in spades. So this is that two-step bid. And one of the main reasons we play one no is forcing. We want to make this a two-step process to show the correct range and number of trumps that we have in support. So with that in your mind, make your call now. Partner opened a spade, you bid one no trump, and they bid two diamonds. Which again, Donna, same as the hand before, that two diamond bid would be around 12 to 17 points, right? And you usually show three or more diamonds. And I love this question because I always get the same exact two answers, and many of both. We have 14 answers evenly split between two bids. Now 16, same thing. Okay, three spades is the correct bid. And I want to tell you that I've given this question probably, 8 or 10 times to larger groups of people, and it's always the same distribution. About half bid three spades and about half bid two spades. And let's just clear this up right now. The bid of two spades would actually pretty much deny a spade fit unless you had a really terrible hand. So two spades here, the thing that most or about half of you chose, would just say, hey partner, out of spades and diamonds, I prefer spades, which means I might have one diamond and two spades, or three diamonds and two spades, even like we saw before. That's a preference bid, and it's always a bad hand. So we have to do something to draw our partners, attention to us and show that we want to invite to game. And we do that by bidding three. So this is that limit raise with three card support. We go through one no trump forcing, and then we jump to three spades, and we get to show this hand perfectly. Jay, the question was why not four spades? It's not good enough, right? Even though it's excellent, I love this hand. I want to give partner the chance to pass three spades when they chose to open with like a flat 12 count, right? Or maybe even an 11 count sometimes. And so I don't want to be bombing off the game when I can give my partner a safe exit. But trust me, if they have a reasonable hand, anything with some sort of extra stuff, they're going to bid a game for us, right? So all we can do is really show our hand, and we are right in the perfect range for that. We never want to kind of go rogue and bid for both of our hands. We want to include partner when we can't necessarily be sure that we're going to make these games. Okay? So this time we're back across from our partner on the other side of the table, and we opened one spade, and our partner responded one no trump. Shocking, I know. They're like a broken record. They keep bidding one no trump. Your call. All right. Two hearts is the correct bid. Now let's just take a moment to discuss this. We are absolutely, in response to the forcing no trump, we're absolutely going to be allowed to bid a three card minor suit. However, when we rebid hearts, when we open a spade and we rebid hearts, that's always, always, always four or more hearts. Okay? So here you don't have to bid two diamonds, even though that would be three plus. If you have a four card suit, always bid that one, unless for some reason you can't. And there's really only one hand where that would be a problem. And so here you just bid two hearts, and you're showing the shape of your hand the best. And after you bid two hearts, partner bids three clubs, and now it's your bid. So once again, you've opened one spade. Partner bid one no trump. You bid two hearts, and they've now bid three clubs. there's at least a few of you still thinking about this because the answers were, can always tell when it's a tougher question. The answers are a little bit more deliberate. And it looks like we have about half and half, which is pretty norm. Uh, this is, we'll get to that, newcomer. In fact, before we end, if I don't have a hand in here, I want to talk about that. That's a very good question. And Penny, your question is exactly the same as newcomers. So we will cover that at the end if it's not in here. I can't remember if I actually put that hand in here. All right. First things first. Pass is the only correct bid with these hands, and more than half of you chose to go rogue and bid three no trump. The thing you have to recognize here is this is not a strong auction from your partner. In fact, this is what we looked at from the other side of the table, right? We opened a spade. Our partner bid a no trump. We bid two hearts, and they bid a new suit, which is that sign off bid, right? That sign off is, hey, partner, I have a whole bunch of clubs and not much else. Don't bid. And we happen to have a very good card for them, the ace of clubs, right? So, as weird as it seems, even with only one club, you're always passing because that's what partner said was the correct thing to do. They told us to not bid. And I want you to picture this hand if you're playing three no trump. If you were one of the ones that chose to bid three no trump on this hand, which seems right if you think it's a strong bid, but it's not. If you picture that hand I laid out earlier that had seven solid clubs without the ace and nothing else, you can tell how many club tricks you're going to take in three no trump right now. It's only one. Because you're going to have a beautiful, wonderful six club tricks sitting in dummy alone forever because they have no entries outside of that suit. And that's the type of hand you should expect with these calls. All right, partner is signing off for a very, very good reason. All right, I think we have two left, and then we're going to call it a night here. So this one, our partner opened one spade. And then right after I'm done with the bid box portion, we'll cover the one hand here that you're talking about, Penny and Newcomer. All right, and I'm gonna make this a quick answer because I know you guys are nailing it here. Clearly, one no trump. We can't do anything else. We certainly can't game force. All right, so we're gonna just make our one no trump bid, and then we're gonna see our partner rebid two spades. So they opened one spade. We bid a no trump, and they bid two spades, and it's your call. Yep, pass is right. Partner just showed a six card suit. We may only have one, but we also know that this is just the best spot for us without taking any extra risk. We may, in fact, have a club fit or a diamond fit, but unlikely that we're going to have a diamond fit. And also, we have to go to the three level to even test that out, which would be a sign off. But now we've just took ourselves out of a seven card fit, right? So when partner rebids their suit, you're going to pass sometimes with a void, right? So this is simply the best spot to be in your 6-1 fit. And that is all she wrote, folks, for the bid box portion. And you guys should get an email pretty much right away with a copy of this if you want to run through it again in the next, several years. It should still be there. Now, one quick thing I wanted to get to the the problem hand for the one no trump forcing bid is when you open a heart and you have four spades and five hearts. All right, so if you have four spades, five hearts, and like 2-2 in the minors, let's say, you're going to open a heart for sure. And if partner bids a no trump, you can't bid two spades because that would be a reverse. It would show a much, much stronger hand. So in that circumstance, and only in that circumstance, you'll be allowed to bid a two card minor suit in that spot. Because to be honest, what would you rather do? Would you rather rebid spades and reverse and promise partner a very strong hand, like 17 plus? Or would you rather just tell a white lie about a relatively short club suit that partner already knows could be three? Okay. Uh, the question here is some friends want to play one no trump as semi forcing. What's your opinion? My opinion is, as expert standard, that is pretty normal, right? If I was playing with another expert partner, I would play semi forcing no trump. But here's the deal: that doesn't mean that we're going to be passing a lot of times when partner bids a no trump. Far from it, to be honest. When we play something called semi forcing, we're always playing it in the after we've passed. So if you were a passed hand and you bid a no trump, it's what we kind of call semi forcing. And all it means is if you have a second four card suit partner, please bid it. And if you have anywhere near a maximum, you should always bid. Right? So if you're going to play that, just understand it doesn't mean you're going to be allowed to pass all the time when partner bids a no trump. You should pretty much be bidding a huge percentage of the time, especially when you have either extra shape or you just have like a good 13 or 14 and you may have a game in you, right? The only time you're allowed to pass is when you're purely balanced with a minimum. So guys, thank you so much for joining. And if you want to take a look, I know sometimes I have to cancel on relatively short notice, but let me show you where you guys can go. You can go right to learnbridge.nyc. This is my site. And also what I've done for you here, I've put the replay of the 2/1 lesson right on the front page. And I'm also going to add this replay once it gets made and put it right below it, right? So any of you guys who have friends that might want to join us for next week, which is going to be a bunch of quiz questions on both 2/1 and one no forcing, they can kind of come in and study up the last two lessons and be right on the same page that you guys are. So please feel free to invite anybody you want and get everybody into this. And these videos will just be up forever. So if you want to come back to them, anytime you want. Thanks a lot for joining, guys. Oh, there's one more question. My partner doesn't want to play one diamond, two clubs game forcing. What's your thought? I would say I would highly recommend your partner play one diamond, two clubs as game forcing. So it's just absolutely normal to do that. I don't think there's really any good reason not to do it that way because there's so many ways you can get around that. So newcomer, I would never want to play this as not game forcing. Let's put it that way. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the nice comments, folks. And I will see you all next week for what I hope is a really fun final exam. Yeah, and if you're playing 2/1 game forcing, you don't have to play one diamond, two clubs as game forcing, but you should. One club, two clubs. That's by partnership agreement. Some people play it game forcing, some people play it 10 plus. All right, guys. Well, thanks again, and I will talk to you all next week for the fun final exam. That's why there's a smiley face there. Do not worry. It is not going to be graded in any way. It's just for you guys to get more experience with this topic because it's so essential. All right, guys.